Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk and we're here with another sweet ice cream bundle project, which is using the lovely sweet ice cream stamp set with these beautiful textured images, make ice lollies and ice cream, and the ice cream, I think it's called the ice cream builder punch. I still haven't labelled it. So fabulous, lovely big sentiment for both happy birthday and a thank you, but some other little extras as well. And some extra little ones which I haven't used, but you know that they would easily work with just happy birthday, hope it's sweet, you know, thank you with sprinkles on top, you know, all sorts of things. And I'm using some of the paper that goes with this as well. So 12 by 12 sheets, 2 each of 12 designs, and you can see on the one side you've got some lovely bright bold designs and then an overall pattern on the reverse. And I'm using both sides of the paper in this particular one. See some lovely sort of ice cream cones there with sprinkles. And there's some great colour combinations with this as well. There's a couple of retired colours in there, terracotta tile and purple posy. But the great thing is that there's loads of other colours which aren't, to make this fun card here. So I've made a thank you card. These are great for sending out to my customers. Not a big demo, so I don't have to make hundreds of times. That means I can go that little bit extra and do a little bit more. So I've got another way to use your Label Me Lovely punch here, and yeah, just a fun ice cream fun thank you card. So let's get started first of all with our stamping for our ice cream cones. So you're going to want some basic white cardstock. Oh, sorry, I just had a bit of an ouch, just hurt my knee. Okay, so grab yourself a bit of basic white. I'm going to cut mine into strips that are about 4 centimetres wide, 5 centimetres wide, something like that, and that'll just help me pop it through my punch with sort of minimising wasting cardstock. You're going to want to use your Stampin' Pierce mat as well. When you're using photopolymer stamp sets, this gives it the cushioning to get a really nice image on there too. So let's pop some, clear the decks so I can crack on. Okay, so okay, let's crack on with the stamp. So I am just going to stamp it. I'm not going to do any sponging on these. I'm just going to stamp them with some fun colours. So I thought, because I'm going to use some of the cardstock that's got this one, that's kind of got some yellows and some lovely pinks and petal pink in there as well, and a bit of calypso coral. So I thought I'm going to start with my lighter colour, because that way even if I don't clean my stamp off particularly well, I'm still going to get a good image and not going to contaminate my ink pads. So all I'm going to do is grab my chamois, my well-loved chamois, sign of a well-loved chamois, lots of ink on it. Okay, so that's my petal pink. I'm going to do a calypso coral and a so saffron as well. So kind of, to me, sort of like vanilla sort of shades. So there's my so saffron one. And then finally, another quick squeeze on here. I'm going to do my calypso coral. And that's me sort of almost kind of going towards almost like watermelon-y kind of shades. So that's those are my 3 ice creams. I'm obviously going to want a couple of cones as well. So for that we want our cone triangle and our cone effect, and some cinnamon cider. Crumb cake would probably work too. You don't want anything too pale. This one to me reminded me of the kind of real sort of lovely sort of deep caramel colour. Yeah, those lovely sugar cones. Far worse for you than the other ones, but you know, hey, when you're on holiday. Okay, so I've got a couple of those and a couple of ink, like inky fingerprints on there as well. And then I'm also going to stamp my sentiment. Now I have prepared the cardstock for this already. So I've got a piece of petal pink, and that is 2.5 centimetres by 8, and a piece of Calypso coral that's 2.5 by 7.5 centimetres. So 1 inch by 3 1/8 and 1 by 3 3/8 for those of you working in Imperial. And I'm actually going to use my Calypso coral on that. I'm going to make a change instead of using white all the time. So I'm just going to pop that on the left hand edge, or towards the left of my piece of card. So then I can come in, and I'm using the Banners picker punch here. And you're just going to feed that in that channel at the top there. Make sure, have a look, make sure it's centralised underneath. Punch, and then do the same with my darker colour. You can see I haven't quite lined it up in the channel very well there. Kind of get a feel for it. There we go. There we go. So pop that out of the way already. Okay, so let's start a little bit of layering up, because we're going to want to do a bit of gluing before we get too much further forward. So I'm just going to come in and punch my ice cream cone, and by punching on the edge of that strip and feeding it through, I'm sort of minimising any waste on there as well. And then with this one I'm going to come in from the other side. I've said before, you know, just to make sure you've got enough to kind of go into that space. You don't want to have it right on the edge where it might get jammed by pushing it down rather than actually punching through. So just line that image up. It gets a nice little white border around the edge. And there we go. So plenty of debris. Yeah, me, messy crafter. So what we've got then. And then just have a play around with sort of what you think is going to look nice together. So I think I will probably do as I've done before, so put the two tones together and then put the other one to one side. I find Tombo's best for this. If you've got the time to let it dry. Just pop a bit across the top and add your first ice cream scoop on. And then again, so add it to the top here. I find if I add it to the bottom of that, I end up with it squidging over the sides. So there we go, there's our two. Layer our label up as well. And with this one I've kept it the same width, so that I can then just have a little bit of a border at each end. There we go, like so. So that's while those are drying then, now we can get on with our card construction. So I've created a card base using Petal Pink. So this is 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, scored at 4 1/8, 14 1/2 by 21, scored at 10.5. That's my basic card base. I've then got a layer of Calypso coral, and this is 14.3 by 10.3, and onto that I'm going to add a piece of DSP that is 14 by 10, and you'll see I'm adding the glue around the outside and then kind of on this left hand, but I'm leaving this gap over here a little bit free because that's where we're going to be punching, and I don't want to get a layer of glue if I can avoid it in my punch. So it's quite a narrow border, so just layer that up until you're happy with it. Pop that to one side. You'll also want another piece of DSP, so let's decide, I'll create the aperture and then decide which side I'm going to use, but this is just about 9 by 7 centimetres, so about sort of 3 1/2 by 3 5/8 or thereabouts. Doesn't have to be exact because it's going to go onto our card here and be hidden. So as I say, I'm going to decide which side to use once I've actually punched this out. So what I'm going to do here, actually too big, I've put that down, it wasn't quite as square as I'd have liked, never mind. Okay, let's pop it that way then. So to do this is really easy, but a way to extend, I'm just putting my punch in kind of away from the edge slightly, probably about just over halfway, so leaving round about an inch-ish, 2.5 centimetres from that to the edge, and punch. Then come in from the opposite side and you're just going to line up, it just overlaps with that straight bit, and punch again, and then you've got a custom aperture. So now you can decide which you're going to have. So whether you're going to have like the waffle one, which is what I was intending to have, or whether I'm actually going to have some ice cream. Now I think that's just a little bit too busy, so I'm going to carry on with my waffle pattern as I'd originally thought. Let's say if you wait until you've cut your aperture, then you can always have a look and see which you prefer. And I'm just going to pop that up at the top above so that I can make sure that when I put this in, I've got plenty of space for that. Just pop it over, make sure you've got it, so that's fine. So that's glued down. And while that's right now, this is dimensional usage. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to grab your dimensionals. Now I find it gave it really good support if I kind of put sort of 3 down that edge, another 3 here, but you can see sort of reasonably close to this edge here, another one, another layer of 3 down here, and then I actually popped 1 in each of those as well. And while I've got my dimensionals out, on the back of my ice cream cone, kind of in the middle, I've actually done a double layer, so that's that it just lifts it right on the top. Now obviously if you wanted to send this in the post and you didn't want to pop it through as a large letter in the UK with the thickness, then you could obviously miss this out and glue it all flat, but I just thought it made it a lot more fun. And then I'm also going to add dimensionals to the back of my banner as well, like so. So now we've got that done, what I'm going to do is remove my backing, and you'll see here that this is where I've done my use a Sharpie, mark on the back of your dimensionals, so you can see which ones you have and haven't removed. I obviously used a paler Stampin' blend on these ones rather than my really bright pink one. So then we've got the aperture, and then all you're going to do is pop that layer onto the front of your card. It is a teeny tiny border, so there we go. Add that in there. We can then add our lovely double ice cream, and the next thing I do is I put my banner on next so that I can position that just to creep into that corner, and then this one, this final one, I'm actually going to add just flat. You could pop it on dimensionals if you wanted, but there we have a bright and summery sweet ice cream cone card. Thank you. You could you could make a longer banner, make it happy birthday if you wanted to, and then you could always add an extra little strip to use one of the little accent sentiments as well. I hope you enjoy making it. It's great fun, and it's a really fun stamp set to have, and cheers anybody up. If you'd like to purchase it, if you haven't already had it as part of the bundle, pop into the description bar below the video and you'll find the links, or go along to my blog and you'll find all the links on there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. It really does make a difference. Bye now.